psychic medium, and you're watching the Historically Haunted Vodcast with the talented and amazing historian and ghost hunter Adam Beacon. Enjoy the show.
We're going to get there. Technology is not my strong suit. What's up, historians? Adam the Historian Ghost Hunter here. Season 4, still going strong. You believe it? I just did this on a whim a couple years ago, 3 years ago. I'm like, I'll do a podcast. Now I'm in 4 seasons. Like, I guess up the wazoo. And I got some past guests that are coming on, like my guest tonight, Jean, my sister from another mister. Not only was I a co-worker of hers for a little bit, but I've done shows with Jean, looked up to Jean. We're doing shows in the future with Jean. She's one of Maine's elite when it comes to cryptozoology and big cat, puma cat research, and just knowledge as a whole. Jean Tewksbury. You don't know the name, you should look it up. We'll talk about that in a second. Real quick, this show is sponsored by actor, trucker, Donnie Green at Bauer Green Logistics Trucking Company. From Maine to Florida, he'll haul your fruit, he'll haul your dead bodies, he'll haul your fertilizer, he'll haul your alcohol, whatever you want to do, haul them up, as well as John Green Logistics Company. No relation. Donnie worked with them, same last name. Isn't it bizarre? So that's cool. So shout out to them. For sponsoring the show, like always. Special guest sponsor of the week, George DaCosta, paid for a bunch of people that he wanted to choose, and he chose Alexis Aaron from one of my clients, Historically Haunted Booking, Candles by Alexis. Just had her baby, another baby there in Derry, New Hampshire, with Alex, another one of my clients from Guided Films Photography. So shout out to you guys for sponsors of the week. Like I said, of Jean Tewksbury. Greetings, John Bernier, Seattle, Washington. What's up, brother? So if you guys haven't noticed, before we bring Jean on, she's patiently waiting backstage. But I want to, if I can, let me see. I'm really not super good. Let me see. Stop screen. That's what I do there. Okay. So for those of you that know, I started out doing this podcast thing, but it's grown. I got Donnie Green on as my guest one day. Now, Donnie Green is, he was the truck driver in Pet Cemetery that drove the big red truck. Like Heather likes to say, get the baby. That was 100% written and half direct. It was directed by Mary Lambert, female director, but Stephen King was on screen. Stephen King wrote the book. It's all Maine-based, all in Hancock, Maine, for the most part. So I've been to the house, all that stuff. Johnny drove the red truck, and Donnie signed on with my Historically Haunted book. He actually was the first one. He sponsored the show. He says, you know, you're a talker, you're a go-getter. I'd like you to be my booking agent. I've never done any convention. People know me as the guy that sang the Ramones song, but you really dig me. What do you think we can do? Then he calls me back and says, just let you know, the truck's been refurbished. The truck that killed Little Gage has been refurbished. It's still in Maine. It's an old logging truck. It's got a thing on the dashboard using Stephen King's Pet Cemetery. So now he's coming down from Florida. He actually called me today. He's driving down, that fucking guy, going to see his mom in New Hampshire. And Monday, he's picking me up. We're meeting in Bangor, and we're going down to Baileyville, Maine to go look at the truck at VP Tamro, Mike Tamro's oil company. And I'm going to do a video and live video and stuff of the truck. Long story short, I'm going on, and I'm taking up my guest time. But this is really cool, and I got to share it. You guys see that? Let me get rid of my mug real quick. This is the Bangor Comic-Con. They're going to be there. Check this. And real quick, John Capiano did. He was actually a guest on my show too. He did the documentary about Pet Cemetery, Untold and Unearthed, Beyond the Pet Cemetery. That's where I found Donnie's name. He said his name. I go, Donnie, and I looked him up on Facebook, and I found his profile picture of him. I asked him to be on my show, and next thing you know, the dude's sponsoring my show, and he's my client. He's coming down to Maine, giving me free autographs and everything. Shit. So sometimes you take a whim. So speaking of taking a whim, my client here, Jean Tewksbury, cryptozoologist, ran a lot with International Cryptozoology Museum with Lauren Coleman, but she's broken away and on all good terms, but she's doing her own thing because she's worth it. She's a big cat researcher, puma cats, leopards, lions, Maine mountain lion, you name it. And she knows it all. She knows a lot about Cthulhu. No, not Cthulhu. What is, it's the fish that's on the shirt. Jean, what's the name of that fish?
The coelacanth.
Coelacanth. That was a big thing when you trained me. You got to get coelacanth. I was like, Cthulhu. You're like, no, that's H.P. Lovecraft. Coelacanth. How are you, girl?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Sorry, I'm spitting off. I got to plug the guys. Everybody's checking in. What's up? Cheers. Patrick Gormley. Hello, my glorious weirdos. Hey, everyone. John Bernier. Everybody checking in. Glorious weirdos. Heather, get the baby. So, Gene, I'm trying to think when I even met you. I think it was at a convention, maybe, or was it at the museum? When was the first time I met you, girl? I forget now.
It wasn't at the convention. You met Lauren there. I believe that the first time that I met you was actually at the museum, the one in Bangor.
Shit, that's right. And we went off on King.
The little bookstore, yeah.
Whenever I went to Portland, Nate was there. It wasn't really you. You work behind the scenes a lot, but that's a long travel for you. But that's right. And then we just hit it off between, we're going to get into it all, between cryptozoology, Maine, wrestling. You're an AEW girl. I get you, but you love your WWE down.
Oh, yes, I still do. Yes, I am an AEW girl, but I still love my WWE.
How's Sid doing? How's your kid doing? I work with Sid a little bit.
She is great. She's really looking forward to Fortin Fest. She cannot wait to see you again. She's excited to finally meet Heather. I told her how awesome Heather is and how sweet, and she is just super excited. She always asks when we talk and stuff, because I message you, you message me, and she'll be like, "How's Adam doing?" You know. Yeah, she's a good kid, and she's looking forward to being able to see everybody and stuff. So
Jean's got a big heart. You disrespect her, someone she loves, she'll put a boot through your throat. But for the most part, if Jean's on your side, she loves you, and you got good family. You're surrounded by good people. So let's brag about you for a little bit, sis, because I want to know. You've always wanted to do this, right? You've written books, you've written pieces on Big Cats, but I want to know what got you started on it. Was it a movie?
I have not written a book. I'm in the process of writing one.
Sorry,
okay,
you're right.
I have written up different like article topics to do for like talks and things. I've done stuff with cryptozoology itself. Yes, that's it right there.
Gene gave me it, signed it for me.
I did that. I have done stuff on the specter moose, which is one of Maine's cryptid animals. Yeah, so the specter moose.
What's
the big white huge moose that supposedly disappears in front of your eyes. You can shoot at. People have shot at it and it just disappears into thin air. And
what?
Yeah.
I never heard of that, Gene. I've heard. What's the one on Katahdin? Is that Pomola? Right?
That's Pamula. Yeah.
Pamula. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look who's checking in. The runner of the fest herself, Missy Lothrop. What's up?
Hi, Missy.
Missy's like, we got to have you and Heather there. Heather and I are going to be there set up. You're going to be speaking there. Let's brag about that a little bit. Well, I want to get back to it. So what got you started, though? You didn't answer my question. What was the first thing you're like, I like these wildcats.
Well, actually, what got me started in the whole thing was Sasquatch. Sasquatch is always going to be my first love. I saw a documentary movie when I was 7. Sasquatch Legend of Bigfoot. Was kind of fascinated by that whole thing. And I was like, I want to learn more. And I ended up in 4th grade going to the school library, and I checked out a book that had Patty on the cover. It was a Bigfoot case book by John Green. Read it front to back. Absolutely loved it. I went to my teacher and I'm like, oh my gosh, have you read this? You know, this is incredible. This guy was kidnapped and got away by using chewing tobacco. And he literally looked at me and said, you just wasted your time. It's nothing but a bunch of crap. And here I am. I'm 9 years old. Since the time that I can remember, in the 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, I was getting pulled out of class all the time because I had trouble comprehending things that I was reading. But I understood that book. I understood everything in it. And it actually took over 40 years for me to find that book again.
Whoa.
And it was after I wrote that paper that you've got, that cryptozoology now and then, I was able to find it thanks to actually Nate. Nate had a copy of it he brought into the museum. Actually, it's changing. I've got a new card coming.
I got it on my wall over here. Wow. So this has been something you've been into for, I mean, this is like a passion, because of course I see pictures of you with your I think it's a gecko, or maybe you got a little lizard. I forget what you got. That
I've got geckos. I have an Argentine black and white tegu that's about 4 feet long. I've got a Savannah that's about 2.5 feet long. Well, they're rescues. I do work for a rescue out of Brunswick called Herp Haven. I've adopted most of the ones that I have, and then the rest I have are lifetime fosters. So they can't be adopted out. So they're going to have a good home and till the end.
Animal lover. You got a softie because those are technically newer cryptids, right? Lizards are kind of cryptids, really, in a way.
Well, I will right now say, if anybody is like, oh, you're an animal lover, I will tell you straight up, it is all due to Grizzly Adams growing up. That was my show.
Yes.
And I loved Grizzly Adams. I have a soft spot for grizzly bears, but I also do cougars. And what got me into this topic, though, with the mystery cats, is because when I started at the museum, just a few months into it, Lauren was like, you've got to start looking into the mystery cats, because there's a lot of sightings in your area, which is Lincoln County. And I told him, I said, Black Panthers? And he was like, no, mountain lions. And I said, we have mountain lions. And he goes, no, we don't. And I said, yes, we do. And he said, no, we don't. They're considered extinct in the East, including Maine. And I'm like, no, because I grew up on the mid coast, which is right next to the ocean. And growing up, every now and then you'd hear a story of a black bear wandering into somebody's yard, which is unusual, but not unheard of. And you'd hear mountain lion stories. I mean, I was hearing stories of mountain lion sightings throughout my entire life. I actually had people in the 90s talk to me and tell me about their sightings. So I was really curious about that, and I started looking more into it. And then in 2019, they were actually declared extinct in the state of Maine. And if you talk to any warden, any state biologist, they will tell you there are no mountain lions in the state. There's no breeding population, and this is where we differ. And I have talked to the state biologist in my region. But I think I pushed a few buttons because he got a little agitated with me. Because I showed him my cast of the juvenile that I had seen. And he's looking at this and he's like, it's not symmetrical. It's asymmetrical. It doesn't have any claw marks. And he's looking at this and he's all puzzled. And then he looks at me and he says, where did you get this? And I said, it's from the sighting that I had of a juvenile. And he handed it right back. And he said, well, guess what? You're insinuating there's a breeding population, and there is no breeding population in the state of Maine. There are no caves. There's no place for them to breed.
Yeah, you know that. You've covered all of Maine? Bullshit. Sorry.
And I brought up some good points that I'll be bringing up I'm giving my first talk on the topic at the International Cryptozoology Museum's conference next weekend. And I have some scientific reports that I actually had to request, and I finally got permission to have them granted. So I have some of those, and they're really helpful because I don't want to spoil anything. I'm nervous about that talk because I feel like I have to be more, I don't know, prim kind of, I can't wait for the Vodcast one where I can be me and just babble on about the subject and just, have fun. I feel like I have to be a little more refined for the cryptozoology one, but it'll be fun. It'll be nice. I'm nervous as heck because I've never done one like that, but I'm really happy though that I've been asked to do 2 different talks this year, so on the subject.
And that's just early. I got a feeling I can get you if you're willing to travel. I know the folks that run the Salem Paracon. If you want to go down to Salem with me and Heather for the day at Salem State University in November.
I would love that. Sydney and I were actually like, let's go to Salem. But I was like, they've got the con going on. And I said, I don't know of any places because we've been to Salem and we love it and stuff. But she was like, oh, we should go down for the weekend. Because I would have loved to have seen your talk.
But I like to stay at the Hawthorne, no? And that's where Elizabeth Montgomery stayed.
My daughter will love that.
Congratulations, Gene. George Acosta, big supporter of the show. Yeah, a lot of people got your back. Buddy of mine is in Maine. Some cave. There's plenty of caves. There's the Gulf. I actually live not far from Gulf Haggis. And
I've been up to Gulf Haggis. I did that for a Bigfoot expedition that I did within the state. We stayed up because I love it, because you can, when you go up that way, you can ask for the rural and they send you out in the middle of nowhere. We had a blast until the skies opened up and it poured for 2 days, and we couldn't do nothing. But we had a moose walk up on us in the middle of a night hike. It was like 11:30 at night, female moose. I had my night vision. My husband had it, and he was like, "Babe, look, there's a deer in the bushes." I like, that's not a deer. And I had, my daughter at the time was 14, and I'm like, let's back along the tree line. And he looks at me and he's like, scared much? And I'm like, if that's a bull, I'm not getting trampled. You go ahead.
Bull moose are ornery. Yeah. Jim Brown, Tombstone Paranormal, Stowe, Maine. What's going on? One of my clients, fellow Mainer, Gene. I love that the Mainers are checking in and support. Real quick, I want to share this. So real quick, that event you're doing, you said this weekend or next weekend, is that the one I bought the t-shirt for that was postponed last year?
Yeah.
Shit. I don't know if I'll maybe able to make it up, but if I can, I'm wearing the shirt. Support you.
Yeah, your name's on the list, so.
Oh, well, that's not what I mean. I just want to be able to support you, but I definitely will yeah, 40th Fest, obviously. Let me try to share that, because that's a big thing.
That's I cannot wait. This is going to be such a blast. It's going to be like a big family reunion.
Well, I was going to say, this is not that's not your people, but this is more your people, your family. Missy loves you. Can you see that on the screen? I have a hard time sharing sometime.
Yep, I see that.
Okay, so here's the 40th Fest, guys. It's June 8th of this year. Memorial Gym, Sanford, Maine. Memorial Gym High School. The gym, right? It's a high school, I think. Let me see. Oh, it's a gymnasium. Sanford Memorial Gymnasium. You can get tickets now. If I'm your friend, I probably invited you. I've sent out invites. I can't see the. There we go. Believe it or not, I have done this before. There we go. I think this is one of Gene here, if I remember right. There's a lot of people. Heather and I got one, and Nomar is going to be there, right? There's Gene, right there in the corner. Yes. Gene is speaking. Eastern Panther at 11, I imagine a.m., where it's not p.m., but 11 a.m., so that'll be cool. We got a lot of people. Matt Warner's going to be there. Chris Brown. Anderson Bridgewater Triangle. That's cool. I've heard of that. So, Gene, what's the big thing? Bring you in closer here. Zoop. Before we get talking some more fun stuff, I want to ask you some serious questions as I smoke my joint from Triple Goddess Cannabis in Brownville, Maine. Shake and bake and medical. Shout out to them for hooking me up with weed if I mention them on the show. So they're cool. Jean's husband's he's one of us, so that's cool. She gets it. She's a drinker. Cheers, Gene.
Cheers.
So you got all this going on. I know you're still in the middle of your book. You're still in the middle of reinventing yourself, making your own brand. This year is going to be a breakout year for you. I know it. I mean, you're already off to a great start, and it's fucking April, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I don't get my hopes up a lot. And when you were like, oh, well, let's just talk, brag, I don't. When I'm asked to write a bio, I have the hardest time because I just feel like I'm bragging and I don't like it. And it's like, no.
No, that's not your nature. I get it. You donate, you did some sponsorship on RAF, co-host Diego's Let's Find Out. He loves the shit out of you. He goes, Gene's one of the best guests you sent me. So between you and Nomar, he loves you both. Nomar's coming on in a month. So maybe we'll have you be co-host that day. That's be us three. That'd be kind of fun. So who do you look up to in the field, Gene? Is there like a old school, like a cat? Not the guys.
The one that I look up to is Bruce S. Wright. He was a zoologist out of New Brunswick, and he did some phenomenal work. He wrote the Ghosts of North America, which is a book on looking for the Eastern Panther. He has sightings from New Brunswick to Maine. His work was impeccable, but it was funny because he had stated like the flash traps they had back in the day. They would use like petroleum jelly and catnip, and then I don't know how the traps went off because they're not like ours are. I don't know if there was some type of tripwire or what, because I mean this was back in the 50s and 60s and stuff. But I ended up doing some of the work that he did, and then I've changed my research up a little bit, and I was very happy to find out that what I'm doing now, along with what I'm doing that he had discussed, is actually something that a scientific group had done to try to get DNA of mountain lions. So I was really kind of happy to hear that.
So you're using him as an influence, but you're doing your own narrative on it, your own research, and you're finding, I find different ways.
I try to, because, nowadays we have a little bit more technology, although I am very old school with the trail cams. I don't use the cell ones only because I live in an area that is a dead zone. And I'm not going to get, pictures probably for 3 or 4 days. So I don't mind leaving my cameras out and going back every month to check and see what's going on there, because it's got the time stamp and all that stuff. And to me, it gives me an excuse to get out in the woods, which is my happy place.
See, you like to be grounded. See, I like that. You definitely, it's funny because you're a big bad monster chaser, but you're scared of ghosts. We always talk about ghosts. Like, I don't like graveyards. I'm like, what, Gene? But that's, look at Diego. Your ears must have been burning. Hi, Gene. Go ask Diego. We're just bragging about you. Saying how Gene had fun on your show, how you think the world of her.
Yeah, I had a blast on his show. It was really good. I learned, though, I've got to stop doing that.
I go back and watch it. Wow, was I really doing that? Was I drinking? Yeah. But whatever. It's live. It's uncut. And this is who you are, man. And you and I have a big respect for each other. You've been doing this a while.
You are my brother from another mother and father. That's what I say.
I can always count on you to tune in, to share. Gene's interested. Gene's going. You're always there. And I see us working together a lot already with the 14. How do we pronounce that? 40ian?
That's what I say, 40ian Fest.
Yeah, I guess.
I could probably be saying it wrong, but that's how I say it. Sorry if I'm saying it wrong, Missy. I don't mean to, because I'm really excited.
I think Missy and Richie are gonna come on, and maybe we could have because I can have 6 guests. If I could have like Missy, Richie, Heather, you, Nomar, have like all come on, that'd be kind of cool. I think. We'll do that maybe in a month, like right before the show or something.
Yeah, so boost it up,
So what's one of your favorite places to go as far as like if you've been out of New England looking for cats? Is like a certain
out of New England looking for cats? I don't have a favorite spot per se. I'm still like learning. I literally have to say there is a gentleman in New York State, in Western New York State, who I cannot thank enough. He actually gave all of his widow's research to me. So I ended up with a lot of like the Eastern Puma research. I ended up with a lot of her personal research. That's what a lot of the stuff on my walls, if you can see behind me.
Yeah, look at that.
The skulls and stuff. Yeah.
Hide right on me, Gene. Look at the stuff one right there. Was that a bobcat?
That one right there. That I call him Dobby because it was Bill Dobson who gave him to me. He's the sweetest man ever. And so I decided, well, since his last name was Dobson, I'm going to call the cougar Dobby.
Oh, I love it. That's one thing that's always lured me, especially in the museum. You guys get stuffed everything, which is neat. So you definitely live it. It's definitely not a hobby. It's a lifestyle. It's kind of, essentially your work, really. You work away from work, I guess, or whatever. But that's why I like it. You're so passionate about it. You're so deep into it. What's a bucket list for you? What's like something you'd love to see, or like, even if it's in Maine, is there a certain area that you haven't gone yet? Have you been to Katahdin?
I've been up, to Katahdin. Okay. And stuff. I think that, I don't really have a bucket list of where I'd like to go to do the research or anything. I think what I would if I could do anything with it, is go to learn more, is go to Washington State and see if I could actually pick the brains of the Panther. Yeah, I can't even say the name right. The Panther, the Puma program that they have out there. And I actually have they did a Zoom meeting the other day, about 2 weeks ago, and went over some of their research, which that's another reason why I love Bruce S. Wright, because he was literally like, it doesn't matter if it's Eastern Panthers or if they're from the West, these animals have the same habits. So they have the same personalities, and, they are elusive no matter where you go. You can, I've got like a newspaper article from Wyoming where one was seen. I try to collect as much as I can for the East Coast, but I also collect out West too, if I can, especially when there's sightings. And at the bottom of the article, the Wyoming Inland Fisheries and Wildlife will literally say that even if you see one, it's impossible to track it. They need dogs. It's just because you see it doesn't mean they're going to find it, because they are that elusive,
Quick. I've seen the wildlife videos of these fucking things in Africa, even they jump. I mean, cats are deadly. These wild cats, these cougars and panthers and minxes and lynxes. And didn't Heather tell me, Heather, correct me if I'm wrong if you're watching, but didn't someone catch a bobcat in like Sanford, Maine, or fucking something?
Oh yeah, we have bobcats, and the state biologist and I agree on one thing with the bobcats is our bobcats in this state, for some reason, are massive. They're bigger than any. They are. They're huge. And most bobcats that you'll see, I mean, if you look them up and stuff and you see photos, they're still a big cat, but they're not like really, big and but we have some really huge bobcats here.
Really?
In the state.
Wow. We have big fisher cats too, but bobcats are even bigger, I believe, than fishers, right?
Oh yeah, bobcats are bigger than the fishers, but the fishers are good size.
Wow. I tell you, man, people always talk about Maine. I'm like, well, you get between the cold weather and the crazy animals, maybe not have alligators and poisonous snakes, but we got some crazy critters up here, man. I tell you, some crazy shit.
I had a friend ask me one time, go, hey, why don't you come down to Florida? You can go skunk ape hunting. I went, nope. I said, I would rather be up in these woods where I know what everything is than to be down in a swamp area with snakes and gators and things that I can't see that can see me.
They can crawl on you like these poisonous black widow spiders. We don't have that in Maine. Shit's too fucking cold for that. What is this? All cats in Maine are huge, hence Maine Coon. Yeah, Maine Coon cat. I've never had one, but I've always wanted a coon. That's a beautiful. You think there's a descendant from anything like that? Like a big.
What's that?
Is Maine Coon cat, is that actually like a descendant from like, not a raccoon, but like from some sort of coon?
I have no idea. I don't. They are big cats, though. They are really large cats.
So, what's your coolest story as far? Have you ever seen a cat? Have you ever gotten close? Have you heard it?
Yeah, well, that's how my research changed. I did follow Lauren's advice, and I was looking into the big cat sightings, and I was, when I was out hiking and stuff, I was looking for different signs and things. But on April 2nd of 2022, I took my daughter to work at Home Depot in Rockland, and on my way home, I was in Cushing, and when I was on the crossroad, I come down over this steep hill by where the school is. It goes down into a marsh area, and then the hill goes up again, so it's kind of like this dip. And as I'm coming down, there's a culvert to the left of me, and I mean the right of me, and out comes this animal, and I'm like, what the hell is that? Because I see that there was something there, and all of a sudden, beside my car, trying to dart, and I'm trying not to hit it, looked like this little leopard. It was probably about 17 inches from the shoulder to the ground. It was a rustic brown with black spots, and the thing ran along the side of my car near the front end of it, and I had this little juke, so it wasn't that high off the ground as it was. And this cat, you could see it plain as day, and it ran for about, I'd say, 30 feet, between, about 30 feet or maybe a little more up the hill, and then jumped into the thickets, and I see the whole side of it. And I'm literally like, Maine doesn't have blackbirds. What the heck is going on? And then I realized when I got to the top of the hill, I need to turn around, go back. I park my car, I get out, not realizing at the time, because I go out in the woods all the time and everybody's like, aren't you scared? No, but I am scared if I come across a bear cub because mama ain't that far away. And I did not think that mama cat would be around. And I wasn't thinking at the time. It was all adrenaline. I see this thing, and it had to have been 5 to 6 months old.
Wow.
And so I ended up heading home. I grabbed my gear because I have plaster. I've got backpacks. I got bucket. I got the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
I come back and I grabbed it. I go back and I found the one track that it left in the dirt by the culvert before it started running up the road, and there was no more. And I made a cast of it. And that's what is on the front of my research card is the cast from the cat.
The old school one?
Yeah. That's the print that I was able to get. And that's the one that I showed the state biologist, and he was literally like, yeah, he couldn't explain it.
Wow. No, you don't have to name drop, but is that where you live now-ish area?
Yeah, it's actually just 5 miles from my house where I had the sighting. And one of the things that I found interesting about that is in 1995, I was volunteering at my son's grandmother's school. And I would go in and help out and stuff. And I would take the bus back to Thomaston, where I lived at the time, to get my son off out of school. And the bus driver at the time was David Sanborn. And he said 2 years, he was telling me 2 years prior to when he was talking to me, it was about the fall of 1993. He was driving bus, headed to the school. So he came down the opposite hill and then headed up towards the school. And he said, kid you not, he saw a full-grown mountain lion in that marsh area in the field. And when he told his friends about it, they were like, oh, you saw a bobcat. He goes, excuse me, but I hunt, I fish. Bobcats don't have tails. He said this thing had a goddamn long tail, and it was huge. And I found that kind of interesting because that's multiple, even though it was in 93 that he had his and I had mine, it just makes you wonder if there is some type of connection and if there could be a breeding population and stuff because, they're territorial. But like I said, this is what I'm trying to find out. Either I'm right, I'm wrong, but either way, I figure it's worth a shot, even if I am wrong.
And you know what the best part is life's not long. We're here for a good time and a fun time. Might as well do something. It's better than sitting on the couch wishing your life away. That's how I look at it. Looking up movie locations.
Yeah, it gets me out. It gets me where I like to be.
Yeah, and you're not hurting no one and everything. You might end up being in the record books by a day. It's the lore of it, right? It's the hunt. Like it's cool. You almost don't want to find it because you want to keep hunting it. Like when someone does,
yeah, I know. I want answers, but I don't want to get too many at once.
I like chasing mermaids and ghost ships and shit. It's kind of fun. What's my girl Heather say? Are there a lot of missing pets where you live in a 1 mile radius? Gene, yeah.
No, not really. No, and with the thing with the missing pets too, a lot of times but there isn't. I know that a lot of times big cats are, when there is like a state with a huge population of them, they get blamed for that. But as long as they've got enough food, I mean, mountain lions will eat anything from deer to porcupine to grouse, the little,
earth diggers. Yeah.
Yeah. They'll eat, anything really. Deer is their primary food source, but they will eat other stuff as well. Pets are something, like mainly cats, because dogs, as long as, they're not running free, it's not going to be confrontational. That's when you have to worry if you come across one. They even say that out west. If you're walking or hiking, have your dog on a leash because you can usually scare them away. But if they're not, they get the dog's going to get, this is my territory, back off, because they're trying to protect you. And then the cat's going to be like, no, this is my, and it ends up causing a big scene is what they say.
That's tough because animals always try to one up each other, but
yeah,
it's definitely a scary profession. I mean, like, people like me are the people that chase ghosts and goblins, and there's people that chase Bigfoots and wildcats, and so I guess we're all kind of crazy in a certain way. Let's face it, doing what you and I do isn't exactly the norm, but I don't think that's what we want to be anyway.
I don't want to be normal. I like being different. I mean, and technically nowadays I don't feel that different because there's so many other people that do this stuff. When I was growing up, you know, when I first got into it and the whole Sasquatch thing, I mean, I was made to feel like this big weirdo, you know, and now I don't. And I like the fact that there's others. And now we actually, I mean, one of the things when I did at the museum is you have a kid come in with an interest. I was like, yes, keep looking into it. Don't give up on it. Don't let other people tell you that it's wrong. You know, just keep doing what you're doing, you know.
But then, you know what's funny? Then you look at Ed and Lorraine Warren, Tony Spera, Lauren Coleman, all these people that make a living on this stuff, make a name, do movies, documentaries. People pay for their autographs. So some people, I think it's like you said, it's kind of coming to light now. And I think people are kind of getting recognition. Glorious weirdos, as Thomas said. Absolutely.
Yes, I love that. Yes, Thomas, that is awesome. I love that. Yep.
Gene follows you. Yeah. What does Heather say? I was so surprised at the Bobcat crossing the roads. And that's where it was. Yeah, we talked about that a minute ago, Gorham. Absolutely, Heather. Christine Marie taking pictures at the Warren Con. I met her at Mohegan Sun this year. This is Gene Tewksbury. Real quick, Gene, we still got a half hour to go. I got to ask you, are you ready for the final boss? In case you guys didn't know, Gene is pretty much as fucking hardcore as I am when it comes to wrestling. Like, literally, Gene is. Gene goes to events with her kids. Gene knows them all, watches them all. Gene's got a knowledge. Heather's getting into it. Dude, we got Heather's daughter into it, 30-year-old girl from Portland. She started watching it. Now she bought the Becky Lynch book, and she's all about it, man. She's buying CM Punk pops and the whole nine. 6 months, about a year now into it. She's hooked. Pay-per-views. She bought Peacock. I got to ask you this, sister. What's one of your faves from all time? Who do you remember watching growing up? That's two different questions, I guess, but.
My favorite of all time, and I was so happy to actually get to meet him about, I want to say 15, 20 years ago. It was 15 years ago. My favorite growing up, although I had, I watched it from a young age, from like 4 on, but when I hit my teen years, Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh, the excellence of execution. Yes. You met Bret?
Yeah, I met Bret. I had my picture taken with Bret. I wore the Bret shirt that was pink and white and had his face on it. And he said that was like his favorite one of all the shirts they made. Yeah, I have a Bret Hart plate. He actually autographed that for me. I do have some wrestling memorabilia that you don't know about, but I'm going to be handing some over to you when I see you at Fortin Fest.
Oh, you beautiful person. I got to get your DVD back to you. I watch it 500 times by this point. I love when they put the car on the thing and they flip it. They spin it around. They wake him up. He's like, shit. He thinks, oh, man.
I told you, even if you hate the movie, the practical jokes that are played on Luke's character, oh my God. it's the best movie ever.
Movie too, the Stoner movie, Days of Confusion. Yes, Coach Diego, former wrestler. Bret was the best. Yeah. What about females? I don't think I've ever asked you that. You got a female favorite? China?
No, I wasn't big on China. I was very big on Jacqueline, because Jacqueline was one of those who got in the ring and fought the men back before it was even. Yeah, she if she could dish it out, she could take it. And that's what I loved. I mean, I've always said, if you're going to freaking smack somebody, you need to be able to get it back. And Jacqueline did it, but she would get in there and she would wrestle the guys. And I had the utmost respect, and I was a little jealous of her, but
she had a good body. I mean, she wasn't like didn't wrestle in the jelly matches with Tori Wilson and that crap. She fought the real deal. She was one of the tough chicks. I think she had the woman's belt for a little bit. I believe. Shoot, I don't remember now. So what do you think of the whole thing now? Vince is finally out. I don't care about him getting charges for wanting to touch that girl, whatever. We already knew that. But
we're going to leave that alone.
I don't care. But as far as wrestling going on, look at this, checking in real quick. UFO Fred. Howdy, Fred Richards.
Hi, Fred.
Another man. He's going to be at, I believe, the fest too. So So where do you stand on the new shit, the new stuff there, everything going on? Do you dig the new era, Triple H era? I mean, you buy into it?
I'm trying to get used to it because it's a whole new company. I mean, even when Vince had it before he's now bye-bye, I actually like the way that Triple H and Stephanie were taking the company, and then they got rid of Stephanie and Triple H got kind of sidelined and Vince took back over, and I was kind of bummed because I thought they were going in a good direction. Right now, I'm not sure. My whole thing though is I flipped out with Damien getting the title because I was so excited that he got it, because I mean, I watched him in Ring of Honor as Punishment Martinez. So to be able to see him rise up and get to this point, I was so excited. So excited.
NXT days. I remember that. Oh yeah. Dude, when I'm sitting there with Heather and I'm watching and Drew and I'm like, why is Drew in Punk's face? Get the belt, move on. Then all of a sudden the music hit. I go, Senor Money in the Bank. No.
Yeah.
From what I see, too, Heather looked it up tonight. Roman's starting a new movie next week. So you tell me he dropped the belt because he's doing the movie, right?
Yeah.
Good
well,
run,
I just found my daughter just sent me a message before I came on the show saying, "Hey, Ruby Soho's pregnant," which was Ruby Riott in WWE.
Ruby Riott's preggo? No kidding.
Yeah, her and her boyfriend. Her boyfriend is an AEW wrestler, and they announced at the end of the last show on Rampage that they're expecting. Yep.
No kidding. Wrestling is good right now. I'm excited for them to hopefully come back to Maine. What about this new breed? What about like Jade Cargill lighting it up and Tiffany Stratton?
I'm not a big Jade Cargill. I wasn't in AEW and I'm not in WWE.
Really?
She's gotten better. I will give her credit. She has gotten a lot better since she joined WWE. They did do some work with her. She's gotten better. Tiffany is Barbie. I'm sorry. That's like AEW's Mariah May. They drive me nuts.
She's Alexa. People, she's like Alexa Bliss. I go, no, she's a little bit more airheady than Alexa Bliss was, I think. Right? A little bit more.
No, I liked Alexa so much better.
Oh, I miss her.
I didn't think Alexa was an airhead. I thought Alexa actually had, she was little, but boy, did she have an attitude, and she could back herself up, you know.
Oh, my sister from another mister. You know your shit. I've seen the pictures of you ringside and you sitting with the house shows and stuff. And what was it too? Didn't you invite Chris Jericho to come down or something? Didn't Chris Jericho have Lauren on?
I invited him. I sent out emails to Chris Jericho, to Fozzy, because Fozzy was actually coming to Portland 2 years ago. So I had asked Lauren if I had permission to invite Chris Jericho to the museum along with Fozzy, the whole entire band. I didn't want to leave them out. And I got no response from any of the emails, and I can't hold Jericho responsible because I know he's got people that do this stuff, and they probably thought, gee, she sent like, 5 different emails to, this, there, she's crazy. But I was hoping to go full circle because of the fact that Lauren had actually been on Chris Jericho's Talk is Jericho podcast years ago. And I thought it would be kind of cool where he was on there talking cryptids with Chris, to have Chris come to the museum and actually check that out, but it didn't work out.
Oh, it's so good to finally talk to you. You always tune into the show. I ain't seen you since I worked with you for a little bit there during the summer. And you know what's cool? Remember that day when I was heading to fucking, where was I going? Thomaston, and it started snowing out, and you're leading me back, and I went to the bridge where Thinna from Richard Bachman, Stephen King was filmed, right behind the Thomaston prison, which is where Shawshank Green Mile was inspired from. Of course, the prison's gone. There's a graveyard there and a big shooter tower.
Yeah, they left part of it. Yeah, they left the back corner of the prison. Yeah.
I remember that. I used to deliver out there for Bell Simons. I delivered to Rockland. And I go by there and I stop to the prisoner's workshop and go check out what they made, their gifts and stuff. But the bridge is right in back of that. It's right by that. I have pictures. I'm going to upload it tomorrow. But
yeah, I actually saw when you put it on YouTube because, I remember you were headed down to Heather's and I'm like, I don't know which way you're going, but if you're going, go this way, because I knew you at the time. You had gone to Belfast and done some stuff for Thinner. And I was like, oh no, Rockland's got the railroad tracks and the station there, the abandoned station, and Thomaston has the bridge, because when that was filmed, I was living in Thomaston at the time, and they blocked that section off in the evening where you couldn't get across, because that's how you get to Cushion.
That's the main route.
Yeah.
Oh, Gene, you've hooked me up. That's killer. Yeah, we got 20 minutes to go. I usually end this, but we're not going to end it quite yet. But do you have any questions for me? You want to play host for a minute?
Geez, we've done this before, and I've asked so many questions.
Oh, I love your shirt, by the way, Connor's Cure. I know, but I love to put the limelight on you a little bit. I know you hate it. Jean is one of the most modest people you'll know, but I tell you, once she gets your respect, she will. Yeah, I won't talk to everybody, but you're a good soul. I trust you with my pin to my bank account, and that's no shit. Cheers, girl.
Cheers.
You deserve it.
I
what do you
feel
got
the
for me?
same. It's like, I don't know what it was, but when we first met, we there was like this connection, and then we start talking, and it was like, oh my God, this, that's why I say you're my brother from another mother and father. I took that from my daughter because she did that to somebody else when she was younger, but I'm like, no, this is dead serious. And like I said, she asks about you, she knows. She, it's great.
Good people. Good people.
So, okay, so you asked me.
Oh, yes.
So back in the day when you first started, who was your favorite wrestler?
Ooh. Growing up, I remember my grandfather. Okay, he's a Frenchman from St. George, Canada, Bégin. And here I am, 4 or 5 years old, and he's watching. Hit him, turn around, referee. What are you doing? 1, 2, 3. Son of a bitch. What do you do? He pinned him, cocksucker. Fucking referees, blind as a bat. So I'm sitting there watching this, and I'm watching like George Animal Steel eating turnbuckles. And I'm watching Macho Man making out with Miss Elizabeth, the first World of Wrestling. And Jake coming out with this python that Alice Cooper gave him in WrestleMania 3. So I've been
Damien.
I've been hooked. Have you seen my tattoo yet?
What's that?
You ever see my tattoo?
No.
It's funny.
Oh yeah, yeah, I have seen that one. Sorry.
Yes.
When you were talking Jake, I was like, "What? You got a snake tattoo?" I didn't see that.
I actually met Jake the Snake on a free word tour. Shit in Portland. But you know me, I've met Alexa, I've met all these people, Braun, I've met fucking Naomi. But it's something larger than life. I think I've been in it for a while, and I think growing up to it, you love the Hulk Hogan, you love the Warrior, Andre's magnifying. But for me, the first one to actually come out and for me to be like, oh, Undertaker. He got called out in Survivor Series with Brother Love, came out, destroyed everybody, and I've always loved the darkness. And then he's come out to the bong, and he's beating Jake the Snake, and he's beating Jimmy, and he's beating these people, and he's getting in the face, he's making Warrior bleed. Oh no, it's Papa Shango. Shit, that's a different one. But when he beat Hogan, I said, holy shit, right? I mean, Paul Bearer kind of rode the gimmick out. It was very much Adam Gomez type stuff, but Taker, Mark Calloway.
Now you mentioned Paul Bearer. Now you're old school. I don't think as old school as I am because I'm a lot older, but you're old school. What was Paul Bearer's original name in wrestling?
Percy Pringle.
Yeah, there we go. See, yes. I screwed that one up because I gave it away.
I was just going to say Percy Pringle because I knew it. I knew that was. Oh, look at this. Thomas wants to know if you're a whiskey girl. Yes, because he drinks whiskey too.
I'm a whiskey girl.
Hey, sugar. Samai says Samai's Golden Pyramid. Samai is a enchantress in the dark arts. One of my clients from Connecticut. She makes candles that look like penises and vaginas and different stuff. So she's good people. Met her. She's been at all the Warren cons. So we're going to get you to Salem Con. Thomas helps put on the Salem Con, Connecticut Con. I think I'm going to talk to him off camera tomorrow or something. And we're going to see if you want to come down there. I think that'd be a great fit for you if you're in for that. I think we need some cryptozoology in our lives. It's a lot of the ghost hunters, and it's great, but diversity is good. So, let me see. Let's talk some fun shit. What do you dig for music?
Music, I'll listen to just about anything except for classical and rap. Well, not all rap. I will listen to some, but some rap I can't do. But I don't know. I'm more of, and this is because this is aging me here. I am more of a hair band girl. That's
like Heather. Heather loves her Motley Crue, her Poison, her Winger. Yep. She loves Yellow Wolf now, but she loved the 80s, different shit. Even Guns N' Roses, who doesn't love that? So that's kind of your go-to, which is cool. Metallica even. I grew up that era. That was big for me. So yeah, I'd say ditto. What about movies? You dig action, comedy, horror, documentaries?
My favorite all-time movie is The Princess Bride.
Oh, when Andre catches her and he's on the fucking horse and he catches
Yeah,
her, jump out the window.
the gentle rhyming giant. Anybody want a peanut?
You want to be that? Well, you
Um,
can't clearly mean then. If you who I am now, then who I am then. Clearly, so you don't know what you're talking about. Aha!
Yeah.
Oh man, it's
that is my all-time favorite movie. But I have to say, when it comes to like my go-to comfort movies, I'm a Predator nut. I love Predator.
oh
Yeah.
man. What'd you think of was it Predator that was in that movie with the girl that's like an African fighter? What the fuck? Prey?
Oh, the new one there where she's Native American, Prey.
Yeah.
I honestly, this is everybody loved that movie. I couldn't stand it.
Really?
And the only reason I couldn't stand it is because she couldn't fight at all throughout the movie. I mean, there is a mountain lion that knocked, another guy out of the tree, took him out, and then she falls and hits her head. She just couldn't seem to fight at all, and then she can take on a predator and kill him. I was kind of like, it was kind of it had nothing to do with her being the lead, because I don't mind that. It was just I didn't get the thing to it, and I was kind of disappointed.
She should have died 4 times in that movie alone, and she didn't. I guess she had tribal help, but there's no fucking way. With all the people that have tried Arnold and all them, this fucking thing's killing cows in your village, and this girl's gonna take it out. She was skilled. She could take me out.
I'm not saying that she wasn't, but she literally, the way they made her out to be, she couldn't pardon the old expression, she couldn't fight her way out of a wet paper bag, and then bam, she takes out a predator. And I couldn't see it, and I'm sorry.
Yeah. Heather just noticed your shirt. Connor's Cure, yeah. Jean's representing. Jean loves her wrestling.
Connor's Cure. Connor, I cry. I tell you, every time that it comes around that time, and they come to Maine, and I bawl when they put up Connor. Connor,
kid loved wrestling. He loved this sport. He gave it all his mega wishes to meet Cena and all in Triple H.
Did you ever? I mean, I just loved it when he looks at AJ and says, "Stop being crazy."
Stop being crazy. That's it. You get time to bleed.
And tells Batista, "Don't hurt Daniel."
Oh, Batista. You remember Dave Batista? I hear he's dating the chick, the big chick that used to wrestle in WWE. She wrestles in AEW now, I think. What the fuck is her name? Shoot, I can't remember. We saw her at Bangor, Heather and I. What is her name? I can't think. The blonde girl. She was in WWE. She's a weightlifter, had big lips towards the end.
Oh, she's not in AEW. I don't know. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her name.
A little cartwheel flip. I heard she's dating Batista in real life. What is her name? I can't think. But I dig some of the I don't know. I dig the acrobatics of it. I don't want to talk about wrestling all night, but I know you're into it, so I could talk all night. Do you like it when they boo Dominic Mysterio and he can't even talk on the microphone and he gets pissed?
I'm sorry. It's like Dominic, and I'm gonna piss a lot of people off, and I am so sorry. And even Charlotte, they're riding on Daddy's coattails. They're riding on Daddy's coattails.
Oh, even Charlotte?
Yeah, I'm not a Charlotte. No, she has talent. Don't get me wrong. She has talent. But she has not gotten to where she's at on that talent. She's gotten to where she's at because of Daddy, who her daddy is.
I believe more in Naomi. I feel like Naomi's athletic. Naomi knows what she's doing. I met Naomi once. She was awesome to me. I liked you since the Funkadactyls. And she goes, I'll take a picture with you. I got that picture with her at Augusta. So that's cool. So you dig the vibe too. I mean, you live the cat thing. You live that, but you also got a family you tend to. You also got your wrestling. So you very much spread yourself, which is good. But you're really focusing on, obviously, this whole thing. And you want to rename your brand. That's coming soon. You're finishing up your book.
I'm hoping it comes very soon, yes. And you already have, some insight on that. So
I shouldn't have said anything. I apologize, because it's supposed to be kind of hush-hush. I probably kind of.
Oh, no, it's fine. It's fine.
Do you still roll with International Cryptozoology Society?
No, I did that when it first started up. And then I know that they still, do memberships and stuff, but I haven't done anything in a while with it. it's hard. I mean, because there's so many, things going on, and I can't give everything my ultimate, attention and stuff. So I try to stick with what I know I can do. I don't want to overwhelm myself, because when I get overwhelmed, it ain't good. It's not
Gene,
good.
you're so open and honest and funny. I love it, man. We're at the hour mark. Do you mind if we go a couple minutes over? I just want to talk
I
to
don't
you.
care. Hey, I'm here, brother.
I mean, I gotta work
You
tomorrow
got
at
me.
7. I'm not worried about it. I got no one here. I'm up north. Heather's 3 hours north. She's in the Old Orchard area, and I'm in the mountains over here by LaGrange-ish area. I'll tell you off camera, but I don't want to say it on camera because it's a very small town. We don't have a street light. Honestly, it's actually an old school township, but it's been renamed. But it's around that area. I'm right by almost like LaGrange, by Orneville Plantation, by Adams, Maine. Not that far from that stuff. So it's cool though, because I like. If you familiar with this area at all? I went to the B-52 bomber crash site from the 60s. There's plane lodges, fuel lodges, tires everywhere. That's in the woods. You know what I mean? That's kind of neat to see that shit, right? You dig the history.
Yeah. I actually have to. I have to tell you at some point when I get some time off, because I haven't had a lot of time off lately. But when I get some time off, I have got to come up because I need to do one of your tours. I have to do one of your tours.
Oh man, I don't know if I could charge you. That'd be hard for me.
You know what? I don't care. You're still getting paid. You're still getting paid. I want to see this. Just to spend the day and check out the sites and stuff.
Well, real quick, guys, I work with Jean, and one of my last days of work, I couldn't make it in because I didn't have gas money. She PayPal me some money to get me the gas, and I'll never forget you for that. I'm not gonna start crying, but this is 2 years ago, a year ago, before I even had this shit going on. You were there for me, Gene. I've never forgotten that. You've donated to my book. You've donated to the show. I mean, you're practically in my booking agency, really, at this point. You just won't let me sign you yet. But
No.
So I would be honored to give you some sort of tour, because it's not just Stephen King shit. It's the Al Brady, all that. It's the president. It's different. Bangor's different. You know that.
Yeah.
And, you've been around. Oh, real quick, Heather. Batista is in a long list of relationships. Latest is Rosa Mendez.
Oh God, no. Yeah, I don't care for Batista. Batista is a womanizer. He really is.
A man whore?
Yeah. Literally, that's what he is.
But but people bow down. Girls love that. Okay,
last question. I didn't help, when he first came out, because literally, like, my daughter was little and my husband walks in the room and my sister's there. We're watching WrestleMania, and I literally said when Batista walked out, and nothing, because I wasn't a big Batista fan, but I literally went, I could wash my laundry on his abs.
Holy shit. You know what the funny part is you're not wrong.
And my husband walks out. My sister goes, oh God, you heard that? And he goes, it's okay, because she can't do it on mine.
Oh my fucking word. Gene, you got no filter, and that's okay.
I do, but there's certain times that things just pop out of my mouth and I can't help it.
I have nothing wrong with that. It's honest. Danny Perez from the Radicals did my tour. He's the first and only one. I brought Heather and them. I appreciate you, Danny.
Yeah, I know, and I saw the photos from that, and that's why it's like, I've got to get up there. I want a tour, so we're gonna have to figure out a day that I have off from work and a day that you have off, and we're gonna have to get together and do that tour, because I want to do the tour.
I'm talking with Donnie Green, and we're thinking about maybe getting some sort of van at some point. That way I can do, but for now it's like either jumping with me in my car, or jumping with you, depend. But it's I'm not super there yet. I'm not SK Tours. Cheers. Where'd my beer go? But I'm getting there, so it's fun. It's all shit I've taught myself. Creep Show 2. And then you go to these places where UFOs are seen, aliens are seen, the B-50. So you can go Harmony. Harmony, Maine. That's the oldest woolen mill in America, 1821. That's where they shot Graveyard Shift, Stephen King, with the big rats and the big bats.
Yeah.
You like bats? You like flying stuff? No?
I love bats. Bats.
I can see you having a pet bat.
It was weird, because everybody that ever has bats in their homes will call me, because they know I won't freak out to remove them.
Literally, who the fuck that even is? Someone you know? This Howard guy, someone you know, Gene? I don't know him. It's a newbie.
No, I don't.
Hopefully it's not. I don't know. Maybe it could be a bot. I don't know. We usually don't get that, but All right, so let's switch back to gears now. Let me see. What does Gene do for like comfort food, or like if you go to a big event or come back? Barbecue? Do you do like a big pizza sub? Like what do you dig for? If you don't mind me asking, seafood?
No, I can't do seafood. I'm allergic.
Oh, really?
I'm allergic to seafood. Well, actually, I'm allergic to sea salt. So any seafood, or I can't even swim in the ocean. I live in the wrong state. I can't swim in the ocean. I end up with hives, and my skin turns. It's fire. My husband didn't realize when we were first dating. We walked out to the Rockland breakwater, and it was high tide. And I'm like, as long as I stay in the middle, I'm good. He thought I was crazy until a speedboat went by and knocked the water up over, and it hit me on the side of my leg, and my leg turned fire engine red, and it was just hurting. He ended up we got back to the car as quick as we could. And then he had to stop at a convenience store and buy spring water just to rinse my leg off.
Get the salt off it. Hey there, bub. Wow. So that's no joke. That's no joke. That's no joke. Yeah. Wow. Yep. That is a wrong state. You're not going mermaid or Aquaman hunting anytime soon, but you get the woods.
No, and that sucks because like my dream of what I would love to do before I die, my bucket list, my number one, and I cannot do it because of my allergy unless I get a Scooby-Doo suit. I need one that's head to toe. I would love to swim with great whites.
Oh man, of course you would, Gene.
Great whites are my favorite ocean animal. The sharks. Wow. I love great whites.
Wow.
And I would love to be able to do I know that they do cages, but technically you don't need a cage. I've watched enough Jacques Cousteau, Michael Cousteau, and all of the Cousteaus to realize I don't need a cage. But that is like my ultimate dream, and I cannot do it because of my freaking allergies.
You're banished. Do it on your deathbed, right? Your last minute. They throw me in the ocean.
That might be it. I may end up saying this is how I'm going to go.
Fuck it. Do you think you must love Jaws then?
I love Jaws. I love Jaws. And what the horrible thing with that is my son, when he was in Head Start, when he was in Head Start, but I always watched Jaws when it came on. It did not matter. I've watched Jaws. I cannot even count the amount of times I've seen it. Yes.
Yes. You know who signed that?
Who?
I met him, Alex.
The kid that got eaten.
The kid that played Alex, his name is Jeffrey Voorhees, like Jason Voorhees. I met him at the Comic-Con thing. He told me he still lives in Cape Cod, 300 feet from the beach to where he died on the raft.
Oh my God. See, I knew it was the kid. When you said Alex, I'm like, oh my God, it's the kid.
You knew it was the first one. She was Alex. Remember, this is the first death, I believe. Josh came up and ate him. And they go, we got a problem, folks. And that was it. And then it's all shot in Martha's Vineyard. So I'd love to get down there. I haven't seen it yet, but that's a bucket list for me. That's pretty cool. So what did you say for food? Did I say, besides, so we can't do seafood, but what about
Chinese?
Really?
Yeah. I like my Chinese. Well, I like Chinese and I like Mexican.
Oh,
I love quesadillas and enchiladas.
I'm hungry now. Enchiladas are good too. None of that KFC shit. That's okay for
no, the real, enchiladas.
Oh, Gene, that's cool. Awesome. All right, so we can go another 10 minutes, but where can people find you? Do you want to plug some stuff? Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, whatever?
Well, I don't have a website up yet. We've discussed, a few things that's going on now, but right now, if I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, you can direct message me either way. I do have an email address. It's Tewksbury at gmail.com. I tell people if they've had sightings or even want to report anything or just, discuss anything, I'm here, so.
We got about 20 people watching. Not bad. So I hate to end it right now. If you don't mind, we might as well go. When there's like 5-6 people, it's like, all right, time to go. But right now we got a good 16 people watching, 17 people. So give me a bucket list, though. You must have some sort of thing. Do you have anything overseas, like not Loch Ness? Do you have like Ireland? Do you think Italy?
No, my bucket list, we've done this before. My bucket list overseas is Romania because I want to win the lottery to buy my castle. because they do have a castle in Romania that has been used for my my favorite vampire movies. They're B-rated movies. They're god-awful horrible, but because they're filmed in Romania, they are absolutely beautiful.
What are they called?
They're the subspecies movies. You can find them on Tubi.
Ooh, I love Tubi. Free.
You can find them on Tubi. Do not watch the newest one. The I can't remember what it was called. It will ruin them all for you. But I love the subspecies 2, the Bloodstone, subspecies 2, Bloodlust. Love them all. Because they're all filmed in Romania. They're filmed back to back. Actually, in the second one, they change a lot of the actors, except for Radu, who is my favorite vampire of all time. And one of the characters is actually William Shatner's daughter, Melanie Shatner. But they're like,
Wow, William Shatner. Yeah. That's wow. He played a scene in Route 66 in Maine at Fort Williams. Plus, the Mike Myers mask is based off his face without eyebrows.
Thanks to Big Bang Theory, I know that.
Oh no shit. Danny Perez, one of my clients, he makes Ouija boards out of coffin wood from Connecticut. Drives around in one of his 3 hearses. He's at the Museum of Wonders where he's got the fork used by Jeffrey Dahmer. He's got blood inscriptions used from other serial killers and just oddball shit. Check Danny out. Good people, good support. Here's the sponsor of the show, Alexis Aaron, Derry, New Hampshire, candle maker, incense maker. I got her incense right here. Real thick shit. Smells great.
Awesome.
Historically haunted book. And you guys have any questions for Gene before we go? Go ahead and ask them in the comments. I'm going to ask you this, Gene. So what do you hope to do with this rest of this year? Do you hope to, obviously finish the book? Do you hope to do more meet and greets, more talks? Do you hope to film something?
Yeah, I'm hoping to be able to focus more. That's kind of why I left the museum, so that I could have more time to focus on my research. Yeah. I need, my husband is very, very understanding with it, and he actually got me a bunch of trail cams, and I would like to be able to get to different spots of the state to be able to set these things up for my research, and just be able to focus on that, focus on working on the book, because even with a book, you can't get it done in a year. It's just not going to happen.
It's bullshit. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. I said between working and sorry to cut you off. Between working, family, booking, I'm literally 3/4 of the way, and I started probably 11 months ago. I ain't finishing for another 5 months.
Yeah, when you first started, it started off with a bang, like everybody. But then life happens, So I don't see a book happening this year. I'm hoping, within the next 2, it will be finished up and stuff, but I want to make sure I'm very particular when it comes to my research. I want to make sure that everything I'm saying is actually, factual and not something that, you're hearing and then adding into, the stuff that I ended up inheriting from Nancy's husband. Her work was impeccable. That's what I want my work to be, is impeccable,
Continue it, man. That's a gift. Fucking Gene Tewksbury. Check her out. You know what I mean? Follow my page. And I'm going to share whatever I can historically on the book and Adam Began, historically on the Vodcast. Gene is a sponsor, and she backs me so much. The least I can do is back her up.
I've got your back anytime.
Oh, I know that. I know that. Absolutely.
I have your back at any time.
This quote unquote field, there's a lot of people that think their shit don't stink. There's a lot of people that don't want to give you time. There are certain people that I wrote message to that are authors, ask them about a certain place. They go, well, that information is in my book. You can buy it. One little information. So I defriended them. I don't need cockiness. I'm not asking for the rights of your book. I just want a question. And to act like I'm a POS, I don't need that. And you're someone that's treated me like gold before I even came close to making it. Not that I'm making it. But I mean, the whole stuff with Donnie and everything, you were someone that believed in me and gave me the time when you didn't need to. So I respect you.
From where you were at when I met you, okay, which, like I said, instant brother from another mother and father, okay? I have told you, I don't know how many times, I am so proud of how far you've come on your own. You've done amazing. And no matter what anybody says, they're never going to change my opinion of that. And that's my thing. If I believe in somebody, that's what I'm going to believe in. Nobody's changing my mind.
I know that.
And
Oh, I know that. You're legit. You don't sugarcoat shit. Real quick before we go, Thomas wants to know your favorite cat.
my favorite cat is actually a mountain lion, and like I said, that's thanks to Grizzly Adams. I do. That's my favorite.
I love it. I love it. That's cool. All right. So yeah, we have about a minute and a half to go. We left anything out you want to mention real quick? Anything we can think about? We'll have to have you back on.
Yeah, not at this time. I mean, we've covered a lot of different stuff, but when it goes to your favorite though, you got to remember when Brett retired, I needed to find a new one, and it was Kane.
Oh, that's right. You said
And
you
I
love
actually
Glenn
have a
Jacobs.
Kane tattoo that says Hellfire and Brimstone.
You show me, yes, Glenn Jacobs. Yeah, Glenn Jacobs, Mayor Glenn. I was so bummed when I found out they weren't real brothers. That really sucked. But Kane struck fear in me. He was not Undertaker, but he was like Jason Voorhees type character.
No, see, he always reminded me of Michael Myers.
What?
That's what he reminded me of, is Michael Myers. And my daughter and my son laughed because I actually had a dream where it was like Michael Myers, him like freaking stalking. And they were like, you had a nightmare about your favorite wrestler.
Well,
and of course, Paul Bear is like, she's over there.
Oh, rest in peace, Paul. Rest in peace. Fucking A. You've seen See No Evil, though. Kane's good in that.
I have seen See No Evil. I've seen See No Evil too. I still like the first one better. Zoe's death scene is the best to me. Scared the crap out of my nieces, and I loved it.
Fantastic film. I think underrated. People don't talk about that when they talk about horror movies. So, well, all right. This will be uploaded to the YouTube channel tomorrow. I'm sure I'll talk to you a little bit on Facebook, but I'll see you in June, which is literally a month and a half away at this point.
I know. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see you and Heather.
Hopefully it don't snow. Sorry. We got a foot of snow here where I live like a week ago. Are you kidding me? Then the solar eclipse came and everything melted.
I watched that video of the solar eclipse. That was funny because you were like, I think this is all a bunch of, and then all of a sudden the lights start going out on you.
2 minutes later, I'm like, whoa, it's real.
Because down here it didn't do that. I mean, it got dark. It got dark, but not like it did for you. Street light. I mean, a few of the lights popped on here and there, but nothing like it did for you.
Right,
and it was funny.
There was so many people, and and I literally got out of work. I don't even want to. I'll tell you where I work, but it's a double name town. It's by Dexter. So I work around that area, and we came out, and there were people from miles. And they had Dakota plates, and they had Florida, and they had Michigan and Massachusetts. I go, wow, Maine's popular up here. The population tripled in a day. Then they all go home. So I don't know. There's cooler things to see. I'll pay my money for WrestleMania, not for an eclipse, but we're just lucky enough to be in it,
Yeah.
But anyway, geez, I'm Crow. Author, cryptozoologist, big cat chaser, comedian, wrestling fan, sister from another mister, Gene Tewksbury. It's been a pleasure. Until we meet again.
We will see you in June.
So, yes, we'll see you in June. And I think I'd like to have you on maybe a week or two after, and we could talk about the event. And we'll talk about that later. But until then, thank you for coming on, sister. Any last words?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Gene Tewksbury, guys. Be good. Thank you. Good night, Brandon. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for checking in. Video will be up on Historically Haunted on YouTube channel. You can follow Gene on Facebook. Be decent or she'll kill you, or I'll kill you. And just be cool and follow her up and respect it. And, man, I tell you, making waves big time. Bye, John. Thank you, everybody. Good night, everybody. Brandon, John.
Night.
Thank you, guys. Next week, I don't know who my client is or who my guest is. Just watch.